Yo, it's the
We are back.
Soul Podcast. We back.
We are back.
And we got a special guest today. But first, go ahead and introduce.
Rogie, I'm about to say hello.
Oh yeah.
Before she gets started.
Hold on, what you Wow, what you sipping on, Stack?
Hey, this is Jack, man. Jack. Hey.
Y'all know my signature for right now.
Oh, that's right.
Woo. Okay, y'all. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Give us a little background about yourself.
Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for having me, first of all. I'm excited to be here. My name is Kariatu Jallo. I am a graduate from A&T. I graduated in 2020 with a degree in multimedia journalism and a minor in psychology. I am back at A&T pursuing my master's in clinical mental health counseling. I have a brand called Korner. I call it the hub for all things life, laughter, learning, and love. And we emphasize on relationships in all capacities. So I created my own little community over there. Shout out to the clique if y'all watching and listening. And that's pretty much my life's passion, my work. Like mental and emotional health is something that I really care about. So everything I do is always rooted in that. And that's just a little bit about me.
See,
Okay.
And I think that's definitely something that's like needed in the space, right? Because just like you said in Crown Corner, right? I'll see like the posts, people posting on the story, like the let's see some of the posts you're saying is very encouraging, like very like uplifting things where typical a lot of people are like posting like the Justin LeBoy joint where it's just like toxic stuff. Like, oh yeah, finesse that dude for X, Y, and Z, or take his money, all that what crazy stuff. My apologies. So, what's kind of like what made you want to be different from that? Because you could have easily kind of like ran off and been toxic, like everybody promoting, but what kind of made you want to be different with it?
I feel like you gotta go with what's relatable to you. Like I've never been a toxic person. Like if I'm in a situation where I feel like it could become unhealthy, I'd rather leave because I'm not used to saying that and dealing with it. And sometimes people can't help it because it might be what they grew up around or what they're comfortable with or accustomed to. So I kind of just created my own lane and stayed there. Like when I started, there was no just like social media was totally different from what it is now. I started in 2018, so a lot of people weren't on social media scene with these types of pages. And I started off as just doing like the blogging thing, and I pretty much just transferred it to different platforms. I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel, and it's all still rooted in just all the things I encompass. So if I was a toxic person, y'all probably would see toxic things on Crown Corner, but that's just not my MO. That's not who I am. So it wasn't an intentional thing. I'm just being myself. Like I put out what I feel like I needed and still need to this day. So
I have a question. So like a lot of people, obviously mental health is a big thing, but like I think my question for you is like, why do you care? Because I mean, caring about our own mental health is really a priority in ourselves. A lot of people don't really take care of themselves. So for you to, want to do it for yourself and also for others, like why? Like what's your why?
I didn't know how important it was until I started to deal with it myself. Like I used to be, I would say I lived a pretty fortunate life. Like not a lot of tragedies happened in my life when I was growing up. It wasn't until I got into a car accident my senior year of high school that I really started to understand like PTSD and things that you literally cannot control based off things that, have happened to you, different traumas and things like that. So that happened and I kind of just kept going like with the flow, trying to live a regular life. And I wasn't really focusing on like all the things that was happening to me, if that makes sense. Then when I came to A&T, I didn't expect the adjustment to be so difficult for me. So dealing with depression was something that was a first for me. I had seen it. I have people close to me that have gone through it, but it hit different when you're going through it yourself. Right. So I was like, dang, like I'm not a person that really goes to people and tells people about, what's going on. I'm usually who they come to. So I was alone in that process. And a space like Crown Corner. Yeah, so it's like you never know what until you're. So when I dealt with that and then transitioning to A&T, I didn't think it would be that hard, but I dealt with depression for the first time. And I created the space because it was something that I needed. Like I didn't have my cushion anymore. I got rid of a unhealthy situation and I was like, all right, now I got to go out here and I got to get help for myself. So thing was always my thing. I started to write it. I posted it. I'm like, if y'all like it, y'all like it. If not, I got to release it, whatever. And people liked
Brogy,
it.
can we brogy to that? Because
Yeah.
like a lot of times people be doing shit like for approval or, you know, for certain gratification. Like, man, just do whatever you want.
Now I wanted to kind of like highlight what you said. You said something was not like healthy, you know, and you cut ties with it. You had to understand, had that self-evaluation that like I need something better for me, or I need something to help me like uplift myself. So I got two questions real fast. So what's that, I guess, unhealthy thing that you had to just cut ties with, if you want to speak on that? And then like, what means did you go about it? Or like, how long did it take you to self-evaluate? Because a lot of people, like, when they have unhealthy things that's hindering them, they don't know how to look from the outside in. They just going through the motions of it. So like, how long did it take you, and what like actions did you do?
I had let go of a 5-year on and off relationship situationship, and I'm really young. So in 2018, I was turning 19. So I had dealt with that situation since 2013 when I was 2012 when I was 13 years old. So that's the person that like
you had the middle school love.
Damn, that's tough. That's tough.
The high school sweetheart, the middle school sweetheart. Okay, 8th grade, the like second month.
I hated my 8th grade girlfriend. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm like, I talked to her today.
It was an interesting thing. It wasn't easy. Like clearly it wasn't easy, but I had to just realize that where I'm going, he couldn't come with me. Like me being out of state in school was the first thing, because he stayed home. He started with the community college thing. But we were just on two totally different wavelengths. Like he didn't understand my life in A&T. Like we didn't share a life anymore, if that makes sense. Because even though we was young, our lives were really like intertwined. So me branching out, I guess he started to see like I'm going far fast, if that makes sense. So I realized that, okay, this is like an anchor. And I can't keep worrying about home and what he got going on, what he could be doing, because he had a history of having me fucked up. So it's like, I can't be worried about that while I'm trying to make these grades. I'm trying to figure out what's next. Like I'm trying to, like really enjoy my experience. So it was time. And when you really do just know, like when you've had enough, it's just like, you know what, this not even worth my energy no more. Like it's over with. So
was it like something that just like devastating to just like, and then that's hard as hell to do, because like 5 years
middle school, like the fact that y'all even stayed together from middle school to high school, like
that means y'all went to middle school prom and high school prom. G shit.
See, he was bad as hell, so they ain't let him come to the middle school one. But he came to prom with me.
Hey, so you know how bad you gotta be to be kicked out the middle school prom, Slim?
Yeah, he was a little bad boy, but he had calmed down, got it together. But we wasn't at the same school. He graduated. He went to a couple high schools, but he graduated from Wise. I graduated from Flowers. But he came to my prom. We didn't go to his prom. He wasn't really interested. But
I don't know how intense the Maryland high schools get, but that's I know they be different though, but
y'all ask something. What y'all ask me?
I was going to ask you actually about Boys the Kings. So I remember when you first kind of like started that in 2018, right? You brought that up and I saw like a program you did one time. I'm not sure that was Boys the Kings or another program where like males are coming out speaking to like, I'm not sure. Was it middle school?
Or it was Boys to Kings. I started Boys to Kings a year after Krowned, so that was 2019.
Okay.
So when I did that, we had our first event that December. It was so we had panelists come out. We had 3 speakers from different places. We had a guy named Stokey from Baltimore. He does a lot out there. He was running for, I want to say, governor or mayor or something like that at the time. We had 2 guys from the DMV area or whatever. One had a clothing brand and one just more of like a minister type of vibe, even though he was real young. So that went really well. I didn't really have too much, I wasn't too strict on the age range. We had kids as young as like maybe 6 and as old as probably like 18. And we had mothers come in, bringing their sons and stuff. So it was a really dope thing.
That's good.
Right. And so and is that ongoing as well, or is it just
Boys to Kings is in boot camp. I call my brands my babies. My son, I had to send him away for a second because it is hard. Like with Krowned Korner, that's all me. So I get to control what's going on. But with Boys to Kings, me not being a man, I had to involve other men. And at first, it was smooth. I had it under control. And then I don't know how or when I lost control, but I was like, okay, this is becoming too much. And I don't want to lose sight of the goal. So I'm going to put a pause on it and wait till God whisper in my ear, like, okay, it's time to bring it back around.
Question. So like that dynamic right there, like you trying to do mental health for men, well, actually for both sexes, obviously, but you know, dealing with men is different because a lot of the times, a lot of men feel like women don't understand where we come from. And, you know, you being a mental health practitioner, you know what I mean? Like you're going to be dealing with men and women. So like, how do you basically differentiate? Like, do you go about it the same way? Obviously you can, but like, how do you go about counseling both like men and women?
So a lot of the things I did in regards to Men and Boys to Kings, I had about like 10 to 15 mentors that I was, the purpose of the program was for them to gain a mentee that could ultimately help them grow as well. So it was like a help me help you type of situation. Right. So I wanted to make sure that they were mentally okay before I handed them over somebody's child. So I started to do a lot of background work and intimate work, one-on-one work with them as just like a confidant, not really like, oh yeah, I'm being your counselor, just like I'm your homegirl, I'm your friend, you know, like I care. I'm giving them different outlooks on different things. It was a lot more intense and a lot more intimate, like I said. So it was working until it wasn't, because then you gotta remember that sometimes as a woman, I might say something, like throw a man off, and I don't even know because he won't even express it. So it's like, what do I do with that?
So is it like, so, and that's actually a great point, right? Because
that's roguey.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie.
That opened up a great question.
Niggas don't be talking about how they feel. That's a fact. Like niggas.
And the thing is though, right? So, because I do feel like it is a kind of a miscommunication between like relationships at time with male and women, you know, because you don't want to come off as too masculine, too like demanding to a woman. But then there's just certain things, and I think maybe because society got us like this, or like this is how we was raised. But certain times, it's just a certain tone that a woman can portray. I mean, not portray, but say it, and then we probably even feel offense to it and stuff like that. So, like, is that like you feel like that was like a common thing, or was that kind of like a minimal thing, like a here and there type of thing?
Since I had knew almost all of them beforehand, it wasn't too bad. I did started to notice because half of them were from, or a couple of them were from down south, and then a lot of them were from the DMV. I did notice the difference in, like, you know, the different places, because back home we talk to each other we have a tougher skin than guys that are used to, like, you know, sweet girls. And I'm sweet, but I'm not sweet like what they used to. Like, I'm not like your grandma, you know. So I noticed a difference in that, but I didn't have issues with like us getting into it because maybe my tone gave off like attitude or angry or anything like that. It was more so just like, I'm the type of person that's really going to have you thinking. Like, I'm not going to sit around and coddle. So I had an instance where I told him, I'm like, I'm not going to coddle you. I don't know who been coddling you in your past, but this ain't that. Like, we don't fall victim to our circumstances here. That's where the divide came in, because I'm not taking excuses. Y'all grown men. If I can bring my behind here and do this and do that and do everything I say I'm gonna do as a man, you should be able to do that times 10. You get what I'm saying? So I held them to a higher standard that everybody wasn't ready to, you know, match up to. That's where the friction came in.
And you want to know, I have another question, because what you said is very interesting. Do you feel like at times they felt the way about you being in control? Because, like, in a way, they taking directions from a woman. It's your shit. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Talk about that.
Yeah, look, she said that with confidence, right? Absolutely.
Absolutely. And it's crazy because I didn't see it then, but afterwards, when I had time to really reflect, it's like I get it. Like, it wasn't in my face, but now that I look back and I think about it, I'm like, okay, that's not something you see often. Even taking it back to when I wanted to start this, I wanted to find mentorship myself from a man. I went to a man that had played a really vital role in my life and my maturation through like the school system. And I told him about my idea, and he was like, you're going to start a mentoring program man. I'm like, oh,
he all hating on him before he even
what
the fuck?
So I already knew what type of time the guys was gonna be on. And at first they was rocking and rolling until we had to put that event together. And I'm giving them roles. Like now you gotta actually show up and produce something. And if you're not on it, I'm gonna call you on it. That's when it became like, oh nah, she really the boss.
All right, so let me ask you this though, right? So could you say with the delivery as well? Because like a lot of times, right? Because I'm a victim to this. I'll say something and I'm thinking I'm saying it in a nice way, but my delivery is all fucked up. So do you think sometimes that your delivery could like did that play a factor to it, or just like motherfuckers just wasn't getting to it?
I think so. I think what it was I had personal, like I said, I had personal relationships with a lot of them. I think when it became like, no, F the personal relationship, this is business, they didn't know how to kind of like operate like that. Like if let's say I gave everybody a deadline, you're not coming to me just because we close or you know me since we was young and saying, oh, I fell short. No, I'm holding you to the same standard as everybody else. You committed to this, you got to make it happen. Period. It's not because you know what I'm going through. We all going through something. It was because I carried it like that. Like my tone was still very much like, I pay attention to that because I'm not trying to step on toes, but we're not going to start the habit of, oh, because me and you cool on the back end, you want to start messing with the business. Like, nah, business got to be business.
I think that's what people always get messed up.
No, we got to judge that. She ain't playing with their ass.
And not playing with their ass.
Listen, he trying to get his hit immediately, dog.
He had a long day.
Hey.
Wrong to that.
She might need to counsel my ass because I'm definitely getting
Nah, but honestly, people always kind of do that though. Like whenever you have like any type of business venture with like a friend or whatever the case is, they kind of think like, I would say they not even like a friend, but more so someone you know. You always use that experience or something as a cushion that you can't hold them to that standard. And I think that's a real common thing in our community because that shit is like it promotes bad business basically. Because I don't want to say too much. Go ahead, Sat.
I really just think like niggas be having like at times they just be having shit fucked up. Like if you trying to achieve something, it don't necessarily matter who you taking direction from, a man or a woman. The goal is still the same goal, depending upon no matter who is giving it to you. So like you gotta carry shit with that same kind of mindset if you really about your business. But a lot of the times people be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and then like, all right, somebody want to hold you. Nobody likes to be held accountable, and that's the problem, especially men. You know what I mean? Like we do a lot of shit because I ain't gonna lie, we live in a society where we can do what the fuck we want. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? Like men get away with a lot of shit, and like we carry stuff like that. But just like that's why I said it was interesting, about the dynamic of your relationship. Because my mother's a strong woman. Just like, well, you're. I can tell that you are very strong in your beliefs and like how you approach things. And like it reminded me of my mom because like my mom was telling me she was trying to do the same thing. She was trying to reach out for to get like some of the ex-convicts because she used to work in the criminal system. She's trying to get ex-convicts mentorship with these guys. And like, it was a program she was starting, but it wouldn't fall through because they hated listening to her. It was like, hold on, like, come on, I know more about men than you.
Nah, facts.
But I mean, it just is what it is, you just got to be able to humble yourself, like, real deal. If you're trying to get something done, you feel me? Like, you got to be able to, the primary thing is just understanding, like, if the goal is the thing that you're supposed to be focusing on, whoever the direction comes from, doesn't matter. It's a pride thing. Like, men are really prideful. Like, at the end of the day, we are prideful. That's why it's hard to take instruction from a woman because, like, it's just the truth. Like, you're not accustomed to seeing women in charge. Like, you're not. Like, it's just a fact.
And that kind of like segues to like kind of like some of the posts on your page, right? It's giving more so women empowerment where these dudes who got all this pride or all doing all this and that, girl, you better than that. Leave him be. Like I seen a couple posts saying this uplifting woman. Like, can you speak on to like what kind? I mean, of course you're a woman, you want to uplift others and things, but Like, was it anything that kind of motivated you? Like, okay, I think people need to hear this right now, or is there any type of like strategy to when you posting or things of that nature?
Yeah, I feel like it's just about keeping it real. Like everybody likes to act, we talk about men's pride, but women like to act like we have it all together when somebody is really probably out here dragging us through the mud. Like, and women can be very judgmental to other women. So my whole objective is we're a community. Like everybody has gone through similar things in some way, shape, or form. Like you're not alone in this. So my whole thing is to bring awareness to certain things and remind women of their power, because we as women tend to look at men as like the people that's supposed to come in and kind of just be our saving grace in a way. And realistically, the way things look, and that's not always the case. Like women are always trained to be this wife and this mother, and that's not always everybody's reality. So my whole thing is to prepare the women that might not get that out of life and help them understand that there is more to life than that, if that makes sense. I'm a lover girl, don't get me wrong. Like I wish love on everyone that wants it, but at the same time, it's like you can't be dependent on a man, and it's more than just what a man can provide for you financially or monetarily. Like if that man not good for your spirit, good for your soul, like if he not adding to your life, why is he there? So that's really like when I'm posting those types of things, that's the place that I'm coming from, because I've been there. I'm glad I went through it so young, but now it's like it's my duty to pour that back into the ladies that need it.
And let me ask you this too, right? Because you kind of say how, women were taught to be wives and, X, Y, and Z. Do you feel like in this generation, a constant conversation is that things have changed from the teachings of like the older days to like modern days of things? Do you think that maybe because the teachings have kind of changed and it's not as similar to like back in the day, that kind of changed the actions of males as well? Because personally, I think that has, because I think like all the way, because honestly, if I'm seeing somebody who just wants a trickster, they can't even cook. Like literally, a girl will ask you to take her out on a date, all that. She can't even like help you spell her name. For like, and not saying that's a lot of women out here, but I'm just saying there's some of them like this out there that's just like that. So I can see why some men do like that. So what's your take on that?
Feel like our people are confused. Like we don't know if we was born in the wrong generation, if we wish things could go back, or if things are changing and we don't need a like it's people are confused. I think that like I try my best to hone in on, like I said, just who I am. Like the girls don't know if they want to tap into their feminine energy, or if they want to be the man and wear the pants. Then the men don't know if they want to allow that, or if they want to stand on whatever it is they believe in. Like, I feel like women right now are kind of running the show when it comes to the dating scene. Like,
For sure.
And I don't even think it's really don't. I think it's what they think they want. Like, I don't think they understand the reality of what they're asking for. Like, it's women that have never paid a bill in their life, 19 years old, still living with mom and dad, that are, I don't mind going half on bills. Baby, you don't know what it's like to pay a bill.
At
like,
all.
let that man be that man.
Man.
They selling themselves short. Like, and then everybody's trying to make their opinion like law or facts.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Find somebody that wants the same things you want, and you don't even have to have these think piece conversations on your Instagram story every other day. Like, it's frustrating, or y'all under these blog posts rapping.
Rogie to that. You ain't gotta keep listen, ladies, y'all don't gotta keep sneak dissing these men with these Justin Lay posts. We peep y'all. Just a little boy, Justin Lay. I don't even know his name. Y'all don't gotta keep doing it, Rogie, man.
Ooh, not even just that, but also influencer culture. Like, not even just Justin or whatever, or those little pages that say the slick stuff. It's like yesterday when Jada, mind you, I love me a good Jada because I feel like she's doing a good thing for herself. But y'all see a picture and a couple of messages, and now it's goals. But next week, if he do something that's out of line, y'all gonna be dragging him. Like, pick a side and stay there. Just mind your business. Like, that's all it needs to be.
I think the fact that, what was you saying, D?
Nah, I was just going to throw out the fact, like, even people, like, just the celebrity dating scene, that shit is just toxic because Lil Durk in India, everybody just wanted to be, everybody think they in India.
I was just going to piggyback on that because I was going to say the problem is, in my opinion, and you can answer this, because you're a woman. I think women they be pressed. I'm be honest, they be pressed. They be pressed for a nigga, they be pressed for love. And like being pressed allows them then to make decisions that end up biting them in the ass at the end of the day. Because
go ahead.
Because like I ain't gonna hold you. There's been instances where like a girl has been willing to do shit for me, and I ain't even been giving her no play for her. You know what I mean? Like that is really happening. It's like in a way I understand it. Like what I realize women do at times, not every woman, but women fantasize a lot. Like they envision what you can be. Like even though we're not necessarily at, they see the potential. They probably, I guess comparing you to, I guess, whoever else they dated, if they see a difference, or if they just see that you're like, in a way, not like what their last relationship might have been, they'll do what they want, like do it all for you, with the hope that you all will be together for a long period of time before you even get to know me. What do you think?
I was just going to say, before you answer Kariatu, like, just to piggyback what you said, like, women, they think of like the potential. Men, we look at right now. What can you do right now? It's like for future tense. Some dudes don't have that time to just think that far ahead. With just like, okay, maybe she could do this. All the probabilities. We need to know what you can do right now. With women, you'll look at a man and be like, you know what? I think he can do X, Y, and Z and stuff like that. Like, I think that was a great point because like that's a very common trait and stuff. But go ahead, Kariatu.
The way that I see it, or the way that I've seen it from personal experiences and then just from having good relationships with some good guys, it's like women right now a lot of women are not looking for partners, they're looking for more so sponsors. And then a lot of men right now are looking for somebody that can just come in and just help them. Like they're not looking for an actual mutual exchange. They're looking for somebody that can come add to their life. Right. Like the problem I run into is a lot of people have already created an idea of who I am and what I can add to their life based off of what they see. So they don't give me the space to simply be human and be me. You know what I'm saying? Like they expect me because of what I study or what I do or what I'm passionate about to be perfect and to have it all together all the time. So when they realize that, no, I'm human, I go through my own shit too. I can't just be this person for you. I need you to be there for me too. It's like, oh, that's not what I signed up for. That's not what I thought it would be. So I think that those are the differences with what people are looking for. I think women have gotten to the point where, like, you know what? A lot of these men that we dealt with, they ain't shit. But if you got money and you keeping me happy, then all right, no problem. We can rock and roll. And then men are looking at it like, all right, if you fucking me right, you keeping me happy, it's a good look or whatever the case is, then all right, we doing it. But nobody's really thinking of like dealing with people is like it's a commitment, and then it's also like, it's like, are you going to be an asset or liability? Like in the long run,
that is the question.
That is the question that
you have to ask anything. Asset or liability?
One more time. Can I get that one more time, DJ? Are you going to
be an asset or a liability? Like that's what it come down to. That's what it come down to.
Yeah, I gotta take a rogue to that one, dog. Come on, man. Cause that's the truth to it. Hold on, let me take around. I think that's the truth to it. I think that's the truth too, and I think that's a conversation that's never held, right? That, like, is that an asset or liability? I think everybody should take time out of their life where they should sit back and see every relationship. Just question every relationship, not even with like a significant other, but like with friends or whatever, the people who you're always around. Are you an asset or you a liability? And if it's like, significant other, I feel like you can cut ties or you can just cut back. A friend, if they're a liability, I feel like personally, you can try to teach them or instill in some type of traits where they can be an asset. But then once they become too much of a liability, not cut them off completely, but you have to reduce the amount of time that you like involved with them if you're trying to go to a certain spot.
Well, let me ask you this, well, both of y'all this, because it's crazy. Me and my girls watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, right? Mm-hmm. And this guy, majority of them are older men dating younger women, right? So in my opinion, it all depends on, for real, what Kariatu was saying as far as what you want. Like, it's crazy. Like this. I think the girl is like 37. He's like 56 or 57. He real funded her whole business. He bought all of it. Like he paid a rich older man, paid for all that shit. They have kids, the whole nine. The thing that was interesting to me was that like she was poor. Like she grew up poor. So what she wanted was to get out of her situation. She basically geared her life toward getting out of her situation. And I think knowing what you want is the most important. I feel like people got to realize what they want. If you want a rich man or vice versa, if you want a rich woman, I think you should do what you feel is best for you. Like, you know what I mean? Because everybody's situation is different. Like Kariatu was saying, as far as her and bruh, like she's advancing. We're going two separate ways.
Right.
It's not any love loss. I still care about you. But what I envision for myself and for my future doesn't align with what you envision for us. And that's the main thing. Like you got to real know what she knew what she wanted. People got to know what they want. Like self-evaluate, like see what you like. I knew, for example, I'm be honest. I knew that I couldn't basically I'm not in a position to be a sponsor. So I can't talk to girls who are looking for sponsors. Yeah. I don't have it. Like, that's not me. Like, if you're trying to get sponsored, move away. You know what I mean? Like, this is not for you. Like, I'm not the guy for you. There's the man out here. There's niggas out here who are willing sponsors, my nigga. Like, real deal.
Take you to trips and all. Yeah. I
ain't that. Know what you want. Know who you are. Like, because I feel like that's the problem. We looking at the standard of a relationship of a rapper and a significant other. I remember at one time Cardi B and Offset was goals. Then when Offset cheats like 5 times, then y'all like, what the fuck?
Until she gets the new Birkin.
Yeah, until she get the new Birkin, yeah, G shit. And then and that's the thing I was gonna say. Social media plays a big factor on like what people understand of what they want. Because like with the mindset of people, it's just like, all right, I want this, but then you'll see like a bad, like somebody who bad, and then she get glorified, and he's like, you know what, I want that type of girl, or you just doing some type of action, just like you said, based upon like their relationship or what they doing. That shit is just like, I don't know, it's trouble. It's I would say for this generation, it's kind of harder for them to understand. Like now, it was harder for me, really. Because it took me time for me to understand like exactly what I wanted or what I needed, or like in a relationship, what I need for me to successfully be happy and not have to worry about anything. You know, it took me time. Because like, if you think about it, as a male, we growing up, and if you just talk to just go get the best thing or just whoever out there, you don't understand. You don't have the really time to understand yourself and what you really need. Because you always involving yourself. Like what you thinking, Kariatu?
Yeah, that, and then also sometimes like when you, like how you said, Kevin, you was able to be like, you know what? It's Kelvin. Sorry, I messed up the name.
It's
fine. How you said you knew you weren't in the position to be a sponsor. A lot of people, they don't have that like self-actualization. Like they don't know themselves enough. Like they are living in La La Land, and they really think that I can get this woman knowing that this is what she requires, this is what she wants, and I can try to lower her standards. Like that to me is crazy when you can, in reality, just go out and get someone that is going to accept you for all that you are. Like another thing, like that takes me into another topic that I used to have conversations with a lot of different people about, like the way someone might dress or present themselves. If you're saying that, you know, deep down, you want someone that dress modestly, right? But you in a strip club or you in a club looking for your wife. Right. And you meet a woman and she's dressed and her clothes are revealing and these things. You pursue her, you get her. Now it's, we need to talk about how you be dressing. Excuse me? You met me like this. This is what attracted you. Now you want me to change?
That's what I'm
saying. So many people think they could be like, you know how Kanye, they be thinking Kanye and changed Kim K, whatever. Now you see what happened with his ass. You can't change a person. You gotta let them be.
Nope. And that's another piece that people are missing. It's like, because you're so caught up on an image, you're not taking the time out to let things, one, flow naturally, and two, you're not giving people space to just be themselves. Like, we still all growing and figuring this life thing out. Like, how are you expecting somebody that is still figuring it out, maybe fresh out of school or freshly into the adult world, to be able to have it all together? It's not realistic. These rappers are like a small percentage of the type of things that happen out here in real life. Like, you need to bring yourself back down to reality. That's my message for a lot of the people out here, men or women, when it comes to dating. Be realistic.
And I was gonna say, like, a common thing people think, especially like after college, right? That you supposed to be like this dude making like 150,000 or something like that. And girls be thinking like, oh, after school, he gonna pay X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm glad you said keep it realistic. Like, we still young, we still got time to learn. It's either you want to help, you want to learn and build with him, or you just want to you, by all means, you have enough time to go find somebody else. Don't just try to hold him up or put him to like some type of standard that's unrealistic. Because being rich, everybody can be. There's only it's like a small percentage is rich and wealthy.
And I think, my bad, I just think to piggyback off that, I just believe that, you know, if you are in full, like, all of it goes back to understanding. And I feel like people don't take the time out to understand. Sex confuses shit. Like, when you fucking somebody and y'all fuck with each other, y'all may fuck with each other sexually on some like real girls who I'd rather just have sex with than talk to. If I'm just being honest, I don't want a conversation with you. All right. But the thing about it is, like, understanding is part, because if I understand you as a person, I understand what you're trying to achieve, or I understand the direction in which you're trying to go in. Mm-hmm. So if that's not something that I see for myself, I can step away or I can do it with you. But that's me knowing myself. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I see why celebrities only talk to celebrities. Like, I don't blame them. Yeah. Why are you going to talk to somebody who, I ain't gonna, let's be honest, they not on your level financially, like, straight up. Niggas like the bullshit. Fund them. Yeah. Legit. Like, this is a lifestyle that they've become accustomed to. That's the part with people that, like, they not being real. If they become accustomed to this lifestyle, why the fuck would I go back to a nigga who's trying to make it? Or why would the fuck would I go back to it? Now, this is the difference though. Niggas will go to a girl who's trying to make it if she looks good. Straight up. If she looks good, and like I told you, old bruh, he said, damn, this little girl look good as hell. Boom, fund your business, $100,000. I do everything, you know? But he knew he wanted that. A lot of the times men get rich. When they get rich and they get old, they kind of want to, like, because it might have took them a time to get rich, you kind of trying to, like, do all the things that you didn't get to do while you were going through that process. So when you was going through that process, you wasn't able to have a bad girl. Now you can have any girl you want. So you'll pick, you know? the stay down joint just to build it, because now you can have whatever. And I feel like people use that as control. Like, once I buy, like, you hear all these rappers, I buy them titties, you can't be ignoring me. I buy them ass, you can't do X, Y, and Z. So I feel like some people use that cash shit to just use that. Because how they gonna go back? Like G shit, right? If I'm a rapper, just hypothetically speaking, if I'm a rapper and I'm dating you and I buy you Birkins and I'm buying you fucking Louis Vuitton, all the whole nine. If you and I break up, you gonna go back to a nigga who can't do none of that for you? The great quote: "You gonna cry in this rose, you gonna cry in that Chrysler." You hear me? For real. That's the difference. That's why a lot of the girls. That's why a lot of the girls settle. Well, tell me if I'm. That's why I think. Tell me if I'm. You know how you feel about that.
There's a couple of things that just started to float up here when I heard just that. The first thing, going back to what you was talking about earlier, I feel like the reason why a lot more of the times you see men being willing to help build a person up, because women don't have that sense of pride and ego that comes with it. Because a lot of times if it's reversed and a woman is in a better position quicker and she's the one that's helping the man come up, that man's going to come up and then he's going to go out and find the next best thing, because now he's at a better position. And he can be that dude. Like, he needed you. He got what he needed out of you. Now he can get what he really wanted. Because there's difference between what we need in this life and what we want in this life. And sometimes we don't always have the discipline and the strength to choose wisely. So that's a good take. That's a good take. I didn't even think about it. That's a good take.
That's a good take right there.
I didn't call it Rogan. I just had to drink because you not well. Like that is a fact.
So a lot of times that's why you see the difference in like those different dynamics, because it's much harder to be that woman and then to be the one pulling them up, because you have either that is what's going to happen, or then you funding the things and that man's pride is eating at him because he's supposed to be the provider. The roles is switched. She the boss. She wear the pants. She got the control. What am I supposed to do when my woman is the one that has the control? So that's how I feel about that. But then also what you were talking about with the, if I set this standard, are you going to go back and go down? That's where men and women differ as well. Because look at the Kim Kardashian situation. We talked about them earlier. She made a comment in like an interview or something like that, saying that like basically being with Kanye, she got all of the worldly things, but she was missing those intimate moments, like being able to just like enjoy each other's company, do the little things, do normal things. She wasn't getting that from him because he was carrying a relationship on a go big or go home type of basis. But now I don't know if she really messing with old dude, the little white dude. If she is, I mean, hey, but they going on pizza dates and stuff.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
go get pizza with Kanye.
That's
Kanye was ordering the pizza shop to get built in their house. Like it wasn't. You like, see what I'm saying?
So maybe do you think that male we overthink shit where all y'all want is just simplicity type stuff? Okay.
Yes.
Hell yeah, bro.
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie. I know that because I ain't, like I said, I'm not a guy with money like that. Like I don't have all the money in the world, but I can honestly say I know that women have been pleased by the dates that I've made because they've been sentimental. I have to do more without money. You know what I mean? I have to think about the shit that I do. So the fact that I have to think about it, it has to take time. It requires more meaning. Like I have to really be thoughtful in my actions. And they appreciate that because we talked about it before. If we all rich, say me and D rich, and we going after a girl, and the only thing we doing is throwing money at her. He buy a Birkin, I buy a Birkin. What are we doing differently? We both got money. What is the significant thing that she likes me for versus him? Like it would have to be something, like a personality aspect of it. Because if it's just buying you things, a lot of men who are rich can buy you a Birkin or buy you expensive things.
On the code.
Yep.
And that's
very, very true.
And I think that's like that's a common thing. And then I'm trying to remember. I had a question too, but once we start talking about you said the pizza thing, I just started thinking about pizza.
But that was a hell of, I really want to get back to that point. Like that is a hell of a point. Like niggas don't talk about that enough. Like the fact that a nigga will realize we know we need this girl right now to come up.
There we go.
But when we come up, now we have any girl in the world we want. Like it's like our playground.
Because I ain't gonna hold you.
I'm being honest though. I'm being
honest. But that's why you gotta really appreciate the person. Like you gotta really like have that genuine connection on the rise up. Because if it ain't there and that shit ain't genuine, that shit done for. That shit done for.
Bro, it might be genuine. It might be genuine, but like she not well and like. I'm not going to, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here and say, once we, blow up that I'm going to just be dibbling down to all these women. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the opportunity is available now. It's never been, I never had this before. The access is there. A lot of the times, like people talk about with like, oh, I would do this with $1 million. Like, I would give back and all of this stuff. Well, you never had it. Like when it's in your hand and it's really in your face, you like everything I wanted, I can buy.
Facts.
Like everything. You feel me? Like you just real like it's just your brain is real like, yo, it's so many things that when I was growing up, like for one, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm getting like a Kobe collectibles room, right? All the jerseys. I'm getting every single one.
I mean, that's respect jerseys, respect.
All jerseys is gonna be everywhere. It's gonna be a Philly Kobe room, like a real deal, like a Laker Eagle, a little bit of Wizards. I'm only putting Gilbert in there because
now you kind of fucking up the feng shui of the room.
But I'm just saying though, you see what I'm saying?
Championship, and then Wizards. Come on, bro.
The Wizards is Gilbert is my favorite Wizard of all time. Gilbert Arenas is my childhood. We all know that. Like we all I love Gilbert.
Respect. I can respect.
Come on. But I'm just saying, like, if I had that $1 million, we talk about all the saving and all that shit we would do. But I'd be like, yo, I don't know. Like, it's here. Like, it's different when it's here. Like, that's one thing I can say. a nigga used to say, like, I remember a guy, like, he could be like, man, my whole life I wanted a threesome. You can pay for one now. I'm not even trying to be, this is just a hypothetical, like, you can really
I ain't
buy
gonna hold
your
you. G shit. I ain't even gonna say that conversation. I ain't even gonna say that. It's not about me. It's what my man said, but I don't even want to incriminate nobody. It was just like, G shit, niggas is willing to pay for a threesome. All right.
Real deal.
Motherfuckers is willing to pay, go to the fucking extent. But this is my question to you, Kariatu. So you talking about like the different type of man and stuff like that. What is your ideal man? And do you want that person to be able to, like, I would say, be able to like provide all financially for you, or do you want more so the intimacy? Like you just want him to be connected with you? Or like, let's say, matter of fact, let me give you two scenarios, right?
Okay.
I want you to answer that one, and I'm gonna give you two scenarios. One is gonna be the rich guy. He gives you like decent, like y'all had conversation, but he rich, buy you whatever you want, y'all going whatever trip. And you got the person who like making average money, but he wants to make sure that you're good. He checking up on you all the time. He knows everything about you and like popping up with all your favorite stuff all the time, making you feel better. So like, first let's talk about like what's your ideal person, and then those two.
I feel like right now where I am, I'm just looking for a partner, like a good partner, somebody that understands where I'm trying to go and can add something to my life, teach me things that can help me get there. Like I might have this part of my business or my future businesses together, but I'm horrible with finances. Not when it comes to just like saving and things like that, but I don't know enough about my next steps, like what to do, where to put my money, how to do this, how to do that, credit and all that good stuff. So I will need somebody that can help me pick up where I lack and vice versa. And if he's not good with, you know, his mental and his emotional communication, those are things I'm strong at. I'm looking for something mutual. Like we need to be able to be both bringing something to the table. If not, I don't want to sit at this table. Like, let me go find another table that was built and designed for me. So right now I don't have I'm about to do a segment. I'm about to do a segment on my page about like throwing away my list, because I had a list that had things that didn't really matter. And I realize that now. So now I'm trying to like rewrite the list with just what I would want in a partner and what I would want my children to have in a father, because I feel like I owe them a good dad. So those are the types of things that I'm looking for. And the other question was what I would choose. So I've had someone that could sponsor different things. Like he'll send me $100, go get your nails done. Or have you eaten today? No, $50, go get something to eat. But he was not fueling me mentally, emotionally. He didn't understand a lot of the things that I was going through. So he wasn't like the first person I would want to call when I'm sad. I call my mom before I call my man. And I'm growing up. I'm not trying to have to just only have my mama to call when I'm going through it. Right. So I had to remind him and tell him that, listen, just because you've always been a provider for, you know, your family or whatever the case is, doesn't mean I need that. I'm fortunate enough to have a great dad. My dad is who I will go to if I need money to fix my car or things like that. So I don't need you for that. Let somebody
shout out
want
to dad,
you.
because there's not a lot of good black men doing that.
Yeah,
shout out to dad.
Shout out to dad for that, for real.
Man, time niggas is out here not standing on business, but go ahead.
Okay. And with me knowing that about myself, I understand that a lot of men aren't used to dating women like that, because it is rare. A woman that does not need you, but she just wants you. So sometimes I used to tell him all the time, you don't know how to be wanted. You only know how to be needed. And that shows up in his mannerisms, his actions. I'm asking for quality time. Why are you trying to shove money and gifts down my throat? That's not what I want. Like, I've been there, I've done that. I have nice things. I can get myself nice things. That's just an added extra. What I need from you is not going to be filled by a bag. Like, so I would choose the man that is there for me, that makes me feel like safe. Because it's always a war going on outside. We always going through something that we ain't asked to be going through. So I need home to feel like home. I don't just want home to be a damn gallery of things that are just things.
And that, for sure. No, for sure. And I think that's what you hit a great point. Like, you need to understand the difference between like being wanted and being needed. Because a lot of people do think that, okay, if I can just put money towards that, all right, cool, that paid that off. and like, all right, you know what? She said she want to do it till she hungry, man. Instead of me going to take her out to eat with me or something, sit down, we could eat. I'm gonna send her some bread and stuff like that. Cause like, honestly, we as a male though, we so used to that. Cause a girl
Yeah,
would
for
hit
some women, that's enough.
yeah, cause
Like,
like women ask you that all the time. I was just gonna say women ask you that all the time. Like literally, I had people be like, "Oh, I'm hungry. Okay, can you send me X, Y, Z? The fuck? Like I don't send out bread lightly. So I'm not the trickster. So like they got the wrong guy. So a motherfucker say that the fuck no. But like I could see how some men they're programmed to that because you have women who kind of come off of that. So like another thing I was gonna ask you, how early did it like take you to understand like, you know what, this list of men that I had, like this list of what I wanted was like it's not what I need right now. I'm gonna throw away this list and I'm gonna rewrite this. Because a lot of people just keep going to the grain. They be like, damn, I can't find a good person, but they going to the same type of people. So what made you kind of go back to the drawing board and be like, let's try this again?
Let me tell you what God did. So I had this list. God sent me somebody that had everything on my list, y'all. Like some of the stuff that I could never find in anyone else. Like they had everything. And around this time last year, everything was smooth. Like I'm like, okay, like I'm still playing it cool because I got my reservations. But in my head, I'm like, husband, like this is the one. Like, thank you, God, finally. And then he pops up with a whole nother life, a whole nother girl that is getting wined and dined and getting taken out on all these trips. And I'm like, where the hell she come? Like, what just happened? Like, God, wait.
I had to take the
Is this a
glasses
joke?
off for
Like,
that
is
one,
this a
champ. You said
Is this a prank?
trips. You said trips too.
hey,
No,
niggas
like
be
big
crafty
trips.
as hell. I don't even know how he pulled that off.
Hey,
Like,
on the
Okay,
code,
but see,
Slim.
the only way he pulled that off was because the distance. Like it's not like I was in his face. We saw each other. Like no, I was at school handling business, and when we actually started talking to each other, he was out the country. So it was like I knew him beforehand, but it wasn't like an in my face type of thing. I think that's the only way I ain't find out because I typically God be showing me those things. But I think it was just me learning a lesson that just because the package is right doesn't mean it needs to be left on your doorstep. So that was the perfect package for me. But God showed me that, okay, no, that is being occupied right now. I want to just
love your
my
phrases.
analogies.
I love your phrases. Like
Everybody says
you
that.
like real deal the jazz, real come like Mayweather. Like I like you that jazz like Mayweather. No cap.
Thank you. So that's what it was. I swear that's what it was. Once I realized that everything that made me really see everything that glitters and gold. Because for face value, it was perfect.
Right.
I had a choice. I could have been like, you know what? I'm gonna act blind to everything else that's going on, and nah, that's not worth it. Like I'm like, okay, so now I see that the list really don't matter because a person can have all of this stuff and still be missing things that actually matter. Like, so that was it for me. So it was more so recent. Like I would say, like summertime last year, I realized that man, F this list. Like I still have my standards. Don't get me wrong, but I need to be just focused on just finding a person that just fits. Like trying to control the narrative and be like, oh, he got to check all these boxes. That might be what's holding me up. So I'm trying out the whole throw away my list and accept the good things. And I'm trying it out. We're going to see how I go.
one thing I say is that, you know, I just like it's just amazing that like you are more in tune with your personal, like, you know, just the awareness that you have, and you younger than us, like, and I know it's people our age who just really just lost, like just really lost, like honestly.
And the crazy thing, fool, my bad to cut you off. Like when I first met her though, I can understand that like mentally she's definitely older than her peers. Like she's kind of like mentally there, like she's already like matured enough.
Thanks, y'all.
Already kind
The maturity level is like, because the conversation, I'm gonna be honest with you, like I was shocked. I didn't know that, like, you know, this is our first time meeting. Like D, and, you know, they know each other, but you know, this is my first time, so it kind of took a backseat. I'm like, wow, you know, like her level of understanding is just crazy. Like, you know, you really get it, and then, like, you can really do wonders for a lot of people because I want to listen to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is our first, you know, real shit. Like, I want to listen to what you have to say because it's just coming from a genuine place. And a lot of the times, like, you know, I'm 25, D 24. All right, people our age, Like, we just think we know it all. Like, we think that we've been through it all and we can't learn from anybody who's younger than us, or we can't learn. I feel like that's our problem. Like, we just feel like we know it all. But today has taught me so much just about like how I am. Like, the certain shit you saying, that is me. I ain't gonna lie. Like, that is me. I got a rogie to that because I am them.
Let's take a rogie because right now we understand this episode was a lot of gems too, bro. Like G shit. It was a lot of gems. We got to know Kariatu. We got to know more about the Krowned Korner, you know, and I want everybody, y'all go check out her stuff too. Cause listen,
please join the clip.
Go check it out.
And then I just wanted to also say, y'all listen, y'all need to know, if y'all fellas too, if y'all trying to figure out the gifts, her page. Now listen, during the holiday time, it was a little iffy with me at a little bit. Luckily, she, you know, my girl gave me her list, but it was good to have like, my list for like my sister, my mother. Like, she had a whole list. Like, I'm talking about broken down, luxury, budgeted, all that. So like, definitely look for the viewers, Krowned Korner for male, woman. Definitely go check
all y'all. Listen, men, women know more than us. Remember that. Remember that. Okay, women know more than us. We just handle things differently. Like, we're you know what I mean? Like, we supposed to be about our shit. When it comes to just knowledge of things, of taking care of everything, they know more. Listen, you know, I'm only speaking like this because I was raised by single mother. My mother is my superhero. So like, I know that everything I learned of where I am today is due to her. You know what I mean? So I just understand the value. Oh yeah, moms is real to go. Like, my motherfucking dog, for real. All right. Okay. But I just think that honestly, like, guys, you know, just let the pride go. Like, I truly believe if you have an open mind and an open heart to really trying to get better or trying to learn, you know what I mean? It don't matter who it's coming from. Like, I'm telling y'all right now, like, what she did for us today is really just pushing in perspective for like how niggas is moving. Like, you gotta step it up. Like, man, time, you gotta step it up. Because a lot of the time, motherfuckers got standards and shit. You want to just buy, like, you can't just, excuse my language, I'm sorry, I'm a little hit. You can't just buy the girl. My bad, I mean buy the
much better.
You can't just buy the girl, okay? Try to get to know her, man. Damn, like, how about you take her out of the day and ask her what she like to eat? What do you like to eat? What do you like to do? You know, like.
Yes.
I was just gonna say one last thing, fool. I was gonna say, when you picking your significant other, and this go for male and woman as well, is to make sure they're the best representation of yourself and that they can truly uplift you, not just financially shouldn't even be the thing, but they can make sure they uplift you with like your goal oriented wise and make sure that they make you happy. So look, great episode. We about to end it right here. Kariatu, we really
let's say thank you to Kariatu again for real for coming on. We appreciate
Thanks, you. Y'all.
Hey, it's D
Stacks, man.
And it's Kariatu.
Hey, and we out. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Can't judge unless you in my reason. Remember as a child, I hated Christmas, that's the worst season. The only gift I ever got was freedom. I'm not really worried about my